This anime tells of a 29-year-old programmer he named Suzuki Ikiru. While he was sleeping, he suddenly moved into the world of an RPG game. In the game, he plays a character named Satu, and his face returns to how he was in high school when he was 15 years old. Then he saw an army of lizardmen heading towards him. Satu was hit by an attack from the lizardman. As a result, he panicked and immediately activated 3 meteor magic at once, so that they were all killed by a meteor, and their level increased drastically. But there is still one lizardman who is still alive. Luckily, Satu managed to beat him. After that, Satu checked his level 310 status, then Satu increased his meteor skill level, and try out the skill to be sure of the destructive power it can cause. But the explosion was too big. Fortunately, Satu managed to get out of that place. After that, Satu used some of the items he had obtained while slaughtering the lizardmen. Not only that, Satu also strengthened himself by adding his skill level. Then Satu intended to go to the nearest kingdom, but instead he was hit by the Viper Dragon. Fortunately, Satu was not injured because he was already level 310. Then the dragon immediately ran away after being thrown a stone by Satu. However, the dragon instead headed for the royal soldiers. The dragon was attacked by the royal troops. Then there was one woman who attacked the dragon, but instead herself was blown into the sky. Luckily, Satu immediately saved him, very handsome and brave. As a result, the woman was grateful and fell in love with Satu. The woman was named Xena Marientale. Then Xena's friends came who suspected Satu. Fortunately, Satu used lying skills, so they believed Satu and brought him into the kingdom. When he got there, Satu made a business card. When he registered, he was still level 1 because Satu hid his true status from other people. Then he is given a life contract that must be renewed every 10 days, otherwise he will become a slave in the kingdom. After that, Satu wanted to find an inn, then suddenly a woman grabbed his arm and took him to his inn. Satu was staying there. Then Satu asked Martha to shop at the market, and met girls who were being bullied. Satu immediately helped them. It turned out that they were half-human animals who had become slaves. The next day, Satu is approached by Xena. Xena invites Satu to tour the city. While walking around town, they saw 3 slaves being bullied in a public place. Satu also knew there was a mastermind behind the incident. Satu also secretly paralyzes them all and beats them. Then Satu also revealed that they had been fooled by the priest who was there. Suddenly, the figure of a demon beast emerged from the human body. The demon instantly teleports them all into the labyrinth, including Satu and Xena. While in the labyrinth, Satu separated from Xena, and along with the 3 slaves who had been bullied before. Since they don't have names, Satu also gave them names, namely Liza, Pochi, and Tama. Then Satu gave Liza a weapon so she could protect them from the labyrinth monsters, while Pochi and Tama would watch over the area. Then they met a monster, but Satu easily beats him. Then Liza took a monster core. It turns out that the monster core can be sold. Then Satu intends to raise the level of the 3 of them so they can become stronger. After passing through various obstacles, their level increases, and they get stronger. Then they meet a soldier who is having trouble fighting the slime monster, but Satu and the others easily defeat the monster. And Satu again met with Xena. Next, they found a treasure chest. After opening it, turned out that there was a demonic monster. The demon immediately hypnotized them all to fight each other. Satu also paralyzes Liza, Pochi, and Tama so they don't fight each other. Then suddenly Satu is attacked by a monster and makes him fall into a ravine, but he can still survive. Satu went back up using a disguise, so that Satu would not be found out that he was very strong. Then Satu fought the demon. Satu threw a rock at him and made him immediately go crazy. But suddenly a very strong giant devil appears. Satu manages to injure him using ordinary fire magic. Then Satu uses his magic sword and slashes the demon. As a result, Satu managed to beat him. Furthermore, they all returned to the surface safely. Then Liza, Pochi, and Tama were made as Satu's slaves. Not only that, Satu also bought 2 human slaves, namely Lulu and Arisa. When he saw Arisa, Satu was a little suspicious. After that, Satu invited them all to eat, and Satu also bought new clothes for all of them. Then Sato took them all to the inn, but the innkeeper forbade the demi-animals to be in the inn. As a result, Liza, Pochi, and Tama slept in the warehouse. Meanwhile, Lulu and Arisa are inside the inn with Sato. Because they are used to being slaves, Lulu and Arisa also intend to provide friendly service, but Sato refuses because they feel uninterested. Then while Sato was sleeping, Arisa attacked him instead and forced him with her seduction skill. But Sato managed to realize and immediately ordered Arisa not to use her skills again. The reason why Arisa did this, because Arisa is interested in Sato. Or it could be interpreted that Sato is the type of man Arisa wants. Then Arisa introduces herself as someone from Japan who has been reincarnated back in that world. That's why Arisa knows that Sato is Japanese too. Then Sato asks why Arisa could become a slave. Arisa also tells that she used to be a princess, thanks to memories from her old world making her kingdom richer, but there was someone who had betrayed her and made her kingdom crumble. As a result, Arisa, who is the princess, was forced to become a slave. After that, the kingdom was attacked by a demon, so Arisa and Lulu managed to escape and headed into the forest. While in the forest, they were taken by slave traders. The next day, Xena is surprised to see Sato sleeping with Arisa and Lulu. Sato immediately met him, so there would be no misunderstandings. After that, Sato asked Xena to go on a date. Then Sato wanted to find a place to live with Xena, and they met a woman named Nadi. He finds a suitable place to live for Sato, but on average, the place is not liked by Sato. Furthermore, Sato along with Xena want to see a drama performance. The drama tells of a magician who has died and becomes undead and takes revenge on the nobles, because he has seized his wife and his family has been killed by the nobles. That's why he slaughtered nobles. But after the revenge was over, he was killed by the Holy Knight. Then suddenly their city was attacked by insect monsters. Sato and the others also fought against these monsters. But one of the monsters even broke into the Pulse house. Fortunately, the Pulse was saved by its manager, who is Ras Elf. Long story short, the monsters were defeated. Then at night Sato went around the city and met a shadowy figure. Sato defeated them all and met the rat race, who was carrying a princess. Sato took them to Nadi's house. It turns out that the princess is an elf race named Mia. The next day Mia was conscious, but her body was still weak. Then Nadi offered a horse-drawn carriage to Sato. Sato immediately bought it and asked Lulu to teach him how to drive the horse-drawn carriage. Lulu also taught him. While on the street, Sato saw a suspicious owl. After that, Sato met the rat race named Mise, and Mise told him that Mia was being targeted by a mysterious witch. Then suddenly a witch appears who intends to kidnap Mia. Her name is Zen. Sato also fights against him. Then Arisa uses a unique skill and manages to injure Zen. But Zen immediately took Mia away from there. Seeing this, Sato immediately chased after him. As a result, Sato was trapped in the shadow dimension. However, Sato managed to get out of that dimension and immediately faced Zen. Unfortunately, Sato was immediately moved out of the labyrinth. Sato also had to explore the labyrinth from the first floor. Then Sato met Loli Dryad, who could move him to the 100th floor. But Sato had to give magic energy to the Loli. Upon arriving at the 100th floor, Sato met a female homunculus and an iron golem. But Sato easily defeated Iron Golem. Then Homunculus 7 fought Sato alone, but Sato managed to make himself faint. While Homunculus 5 and 6 fled elsewhere. Long story short, Sato managed to reach the 200th floor and met Zen. Zen will also give the Holy Sword if Sato manages to defeat all of his subordinates. Furthermore, Sato fought them all very fiercely. In the end, Sato managed to beat them all. After that, Sato met Zen and got the Holy Sword. Then Zen told him that he was a reincarnation too. After getting a new life, he lived happily with his wife. But a nobleman took his wife and killed all his family. As a result, Zen also intends to avenge him and slaughter the nobles there. However, after his goal was achieved, Zen intended to die so he could meet his wife, but the gods gave him immortality. That's why Zen asked Sato to kill him. Sato immediately killed him. After that, Sato saves all the homunculus and Mia, and takes them all out of the labyrinth. While Sato saved Homunculus 7, That's why Satu was chased by a very large wave of water. Long story short, Satu managed to survive and was reunited with the others. After that, one of the homunculus decided to come with Satu. He was given the name Nana. Then Satu returned to the city and met Xena. Xena was very worried about Satu because Xena liked him. After that, Satu intends to leave the city to take Mia home. Before that, Xena asked Satu to take her with him, but Xena had to wait 1 year before she could go with Satu. It could be considered a long-distance relationship between Satu and Xena. Furthermore, Satu began to study magic. Then they met a group of rat race. Mia thanked them for saving her when Mia was kidnapped by a Zen wizard, and prayed for the rat race that had died while protecting it. Next, Satu went to a bar and treated everyone in the bar. Then Satu was brought by a woman to do something like a scout clap. The next day, Satu went to a town to buy some materials, but when he got there, Satu was interested in magic scrolls. So Satu decided to disguise himself when he bought it. At night, Satu entered the Elusory forest alone. Suddenly Satu was attacked by the guards there. Luckily Satu managed to beat them. Then a witch appeared and invited Satu to go to her house. Satu was also given a healing potion recipe, provided that Satu had to deliver a letter to the city leadership there. The next day, Satu saw that the students of the wizard had been chased by criminals. Satu saved him, but all the potions he had brought had been destroyed by someone, so that only 120 of the ingredients remained. They reported the incident to the city leadership, but the city leadership wanted 300 potions. Satu begins to suspect him. It turns out that they intend to seize the Illusory forest. Knowing this, Satu plans to make a new potion. Satu also asked for help from a bottle craftsman to help him. They also made potions and potion bottles together. While the bottle was being heated, suddenly the robbers came and destroyed the bottle kiln. But Satu managed to secure all the bottles using his inventory skill, and successfully completed 300 potions. Furthermore, Satu also sent the potion to the city leadership, but the city leadership did not give a receipt. As a result comes a noble Kuhanu, and he is very disappointed because his city is ruled by bad people. Suddenly, he even attacked the nobleman, but the nobleman was very strong and he intended to kill the criminal. However, he was stopped by Satu. As a result, the criminal will be in jail. Furthermore, Satu channeled his magic energy into Nana so that Nana could restore her strength. On the other hand, Xena gets a letter from Satu which contains about his journey. The next day in the morning, Satu became the king of harem. And this anime ends. Thank you for watching this video to the end. See you in the next video.